show proof that the facility is in compliance with federal and local ordinances. I would imagine this would go through the cafeterias. This is your area. Identify and maintain a coordination team of at least 3 paid staff members. And they don't mind volunteers, but they want to know that there's at least 3 people that are going to be there. And it's not an extra hire, it just be someone that we would have to assign that to be available for when the packages are distributed.
It's on Friday night.
It would be Friday afternoon.
Friday.
Yeah, it would probably come Friday morning and you get, I was just wondering if the board was interested in this, if I should delve a little bit further and try and get more information.
The examples you gave there were individual buildings. How would they handle that with multiple buildings?
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really want to get too far. I just got a basic information. I didn't want to waste their time in case it wasn't something that the board wanted to get tied up in. But, you know, everybody talks about childhood obesity. Childhood hunger in the state of New Jersey is extreme. And it's not only in Camden City or Pennsauken, it's in Cherry Hill, it's in Morristown. It's across the state. And right now, I think they said 37% of the kids in the state of New Jersey are in a family that has lost a house through the foreclosure.
May I make a suggestion?
Yes.
That we collect the information, talk to Mr. Maloney. He's a good guy that's very sensitive, I think, to the need. To me, it's not debatable. The reality of their kids that are hungry, that are not getting fed. I'd like to see if it can be done. I don't know, I mean, ask the question about the multiple schools in the district, would we have to establish a center? Possibly, but I'd like to look at the possibility. We may be able to do, number one, it needs to be done because they're kids that need the food. I mean, to me, there's no question about it. Let's see about the implementation.
Yeah.
What does that
maybe
take?
do a pilot at a couple
Yeah,
schools.
I mean, I would certainly, I know one thing, I would willingly look at it to see what the possibilities are. I says our food person is an excellent person, and if it can be done, I'm sure he can find a way to do it.
May I ask a question? Who's running the program that you're referring to? Who's running that program?
Food Bank of South Jersey. And it would be no cost to the district. We would just have to supply the people to distribute the packs.
I'd also ask Mr. Maloney to look in what the National Free and Reduced Lunch Program offers, because there are programs that the school district is committed to provide in the summer.
Yeah, I think
Which, well, you're saying
This is a
on just
weekend
Friday.
pack. Yeah, this is
But there are programs that if that's something.
Summer is
the
something
board-
else, yes. That's
Something the
bad.
board would like to look into. There are programs through the National Free and Reduced Lunch
right, yes.
that can be run during the summer where, because the population you're serving at that point are your free and reduced children, that you may be able to qualify because you are a severe needs district. You would qualify and possibly at that point consider running a program during the summer. It's usually tied though to some type of a recreation type program or extended school year where you bring children in. So you may want to consider something like that when we're looking at budget starting in September and October in terms of what you want to do summer. So that may be an enhancement.
I can get information on that. Everybody, that's a good idea. Let me delve a little further. Okay, thank you.
It's a good idea because you're speaking about a lot of realities that our community is dealing with. This is good.
Any other new business? I believe there's been any presentation.
The presentation that we have this evening, the board has been talking about updating its policies and getting involved with that. And Dr. Johnson asked me to reach out to Strauss Esman. This evening we have Dr. Phil Castro from Strauss Esme. Ironically, when I wanted to become a BA, when I was teaching, I went to the BA in the district that I was at, and it was Mr. McCastro, who convinced me years ago that I should think about becoming a business administrator, and he hasn't been a friend since.
I was gonna say, is that good or bad?
I'd like to introduce Mr. Phil McCastro.
Thanks a lot. I want the record to reflect that I'm younger than him. But he's trying to use that as an example. He could pass those around. I have a bunch of these. I don't want him to try to pass off that comment as being, as meaning that I'm older than he is, because I'm not. There's a bunch actually. Thanks for having me. My name is Phil McCastro, principal in Strauss Esme Associates, school policy and regulation consulting firm. Get by way of background, Strauss has been around since 1972, working with school districts developing customized policy and procedure manuals and then supporting those manuals. By way of background, our firm, I've been involved with the firm since 1994. I'm a retired business administrator, retired school superintendent from the Brick Township School District. I have a doctorate in educational administration from Temple University, a law degree from Widener, and licensed to practice in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. I've been doing policy work since 1994 on a consulting basis and retired in 2003, and in 2001 acquired the firm along with my wife. My wife's my partner in life and my partner in Strauss. There's 10 of us in Toms River, New Jersey that do this. We acquired the firm in 2001 with 170 districts under contract. Today we have 421. We've included in your packet all of our clients, not just a list to call. That we include all of the clients that we work with. We do it very, very, very well, and that's why we're able to, talk about that kind of growth and talk about that kind of support. Let me tell you how we do it, because that's the part that you probably want to know about, a little bit about our process, and then how we support districts after they're finished. We take everything, if we get a new school district, we take everything the school district has, their existing policies. Do you have procedures also?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You do. We take your existing procedures, we take all of your handbooks, all of your student handbooks. Sometimes those handbooks become policies unto themselves. Each school develops their own little policy manual, which may or may not be consistent with the policies you've adopted. So it's not unusual. So what we do then is we take everything you have, handbooks, contracts, student handbooks, teacher, staff handbooks, parent handbooks, and we actually take everything you have and you send us a Xerox box. Within 60 days of the time you send us that Xerox box, we go through every single piece of paper in that box, everything, and we organize it in a certain place. So we take everything regarding attendance, we put it in one place. Everything regarding discipline, we put it in one place. Because number one, we're looking for consistency throughout the district, but we're also looking for compliance with the law and the statutes and the codes. And what we do is we go through everything, and we say, okay, this is your current policy on attendance. It's good, it works, it's compliant with the law, it stays and goes in one file. This one, you might have a group of policies and procedures and supporting documentation that's good, unique to your district, but needs to be tweaked a little bit. A little outdated, maybe wrong legal sites, maybe not the right terminology in accordance with the new current laws. That goes in another pile. You have some policies that are going to be unique to you, and they work for you. That's your school use of school facilities, your transportation, all those policies. That's what you do. That works well. That goes in another pile. Then you have some policies that may be just bad, old, dated, haven't been looked at, aren't consistent with the current laws or statutes or codes. That goes in another pile. And then we have a whole bunch of other policies that you probably thought about in the past, but never really thought about how you go about writing a policy for it, such as inappropriate staff conduct, kind of conduct that staff members should not be engaging with regarding children. I'm not talking about the stuff you read about in the newspaper, hear about in the news. I'm talking about, inappropriate conduct with students, demeaning, insulting, and inappropriate comments or that kind of stuff. So we have a policy that governs that. Staff members' use of personal cell phones, if that's an issue for you. Modified duty early return to work. Getting people back to work while they're recovering from a workers' compensation injury. You're allowed to do that under the law. and almost every district doesn't. But sometimes it's not memorialized. So we call those supplemental policies. And what we do is we come and spend a day in the district, and we ask questions. It's usually a day when we sit with the administrative staff, and we say, look, we need you to, we spend 5 hours, and it's basically an exchange. Tell us if this is good, is this the way you do it? Are these titles right? Because sometimes titles are wrong. You change titles over the years, but you never change the titles in the policy. So we sit down, we make all those adjustments, we spend about 4 or 5 hours in the district, we leave about 60 days after that, we come back and we give the district a draft of the policy manual and a procedure manual. This now is a working document. We ask the administrative staff, however the board wants to handle that, to go through it, make sure we capture what's going on in this district, the way it's happening, and the way it should be happening in accordance with the law. That draft is marked up, changed by the administrative staff, changed by the board, however you want to go about doing it, it comes back to us. We reprocess that document into what's called a proof copy. Now that proof copy now is getting closer to a finished product. So what we do then is we actually ask you, that's typically when we see the board committee start to get involved in this, because it's a big burden for the whole board to do the whole policy manual. So we kind of, although you can, or a committee handle it, we suggest that you divide it by committees. The policy committee get maybe one section, the full board get the bylaws section, the curriculum committee gets the 2 curriculum sections, personnel gets 2 personnel sections, and we say give us any changes you want, any revisions you want, as many as you want. You make those changes, you get it back to us, we make those changes, get them back to you. So we're using none of your secretarial time. Your administrative time is reading it. Your board members have to read it and make changes. When it comes back, we make those changes on a proof copy. We give you, meanwhile, we're keeping a final document. Once the board's satisfied that we have a final document that's ready to be approved, we adopt the policy manual with 2 readings. Sometimes we do 3 sections at a time, so that maybe, the first 3 sections, or the 2 personnel sections we're going to do this month. Next month we're going to do the finance and maintenance section. Next month we're going to do curriculum or whatever, however you want to do it. The process usually takes between about 9 months to 12 months to finish, start to finish. Not because we take that long, but because we have timelines we have to follow in the contract. But basically we give the school district time to go through it at their pace. We never want to say to somebody, you have to get it back to us in 30 days. We like to get it back quicker, but sometimes you get distracted, sometimes you have things going on. I suspect you're probably going to be having a new superintendent sometime during the next 12 months. So in that situation, it might fit right in line with getting somebody involved in that process. Perfect for a new superintendent to come in and to work on a policy manual. That's a good thing, because now you're talking about somebody being familiar with a document of which is, quite involved. Once you're done, once you're finished, we give you a hard copy of the manual, customized binder. We give you a copy you can photograph with no holes punched. We'll give you a Word CD of all the policies and regulations. And we'll give you a PDF if you like that. That's fine too. We'll give you that, depending how you want to put them on your website. The cost to do the policy manual, start to finish, and the regulation manual, the whole package, everything I've just talked about is $13,000. And we spread that out over multiple budget years, so we don't really, if you want us to pay it over 2 or 3 budget years, it doesn't really matter to us. After you're done, after you're finished, the most important thing, and I tell every board we talk to, is the hard part. Getting the project done is not the hard part.